The soft hum of expensive air conditioning fills the marble-clad lobby of the Grandview Hotel. Crystal chandeliers cast warm light across polished surfaces. SOPHIA Winters, 38, sits alone at a corner table, her designer coat draped over the chair back. She's elegant but tired, nursing a glass of wine with the careful precision of someone who's learned to savor small pleasures. Her phone buzzes. A text from her assistant. The Meridian deal closed. Your father wants to celebrate when you're back. SOPHIA allows herself a small smile. After everything she's been through, she's finally found her footing again. The real estate empire her family built is thriving under her leadership, and for the first time in years, she feels peaceful. SOPHIA to herself. Maybe I should stay another day. The lobby doors swing open with theatrical force. Derek Cross, 35, strides in like he owns the place, dragging 2 oversized Louis Vuitton suitcases. Behind him, clinging to his arm like expensive jewelry, is Vanessa Sterling, 24, all bleached hair and predatory confidence. SOPHIA's wine glass freezes halfway to her lips. The peaceful moment shatters. Derek, loud enough for half the lobby to hear. Told you this place was perfect, babe. Only the best for my wife. Wife. The word hits SOPHIA like a physical blow. She watches, transfixed, as Derek swaggers to the reception desk, Vanessa hanging on his every word. Vanessa pouting. Daddy said the penthouse suite better have that infinity pool you promised. Derek. Baby, your old man's connections got us this honeymoon package. Trust me, we're living like royalty now. SOPHIA's hand trembles slightly. Honeymoon. So he did it. He actually married the girl he was cheating with. Derek's head turns, scanning the lobby with that familiar arrogance she once mistook for confidence. Their eyes meet across the marble expanse. Time stops. Derek is dropping to a dangerous whisper. Well, well. Look what the cat dragged in. He abandons Vanessa at the desk and approaches SOPHIA's table with predatory slowness. Each step echoes in the suddenly too quiet lobby. Derek, sitting uninvited. SOPHIA fucking Winters. Still drinking alone, I see. The crude language feels like a slap. This isn't the man who once whispered sweet promises in her ear during their 3-year marriage. This is the stranger he became, bitter, cruel, vindictive. SOPHIA, steady, controlled. Derek, congratulations on your recent nuptials. Derek, leaning back, smug. Thanks. 3rd time's the charm, right? Though technically you were number 2. The casual cruelty in his is breathtaking. SOPHIA remembers his first wife, Amanda, who he divorced just months before they met. She was holding me back, he'd said then. The same words he'd use about SOPHIA later. Vanessa, approaching, territorial. Derek, who's this old woman? Old woman. SOPHIA is 38, successful, and objectively stunning. But in Vanessa's world of Instagram filters and daddy's money, anyone over 30 is ancient. Derek, grinning. Vanessa, meet my second mistake. SOPHIA, my beautiful young wife, daughter of Marcus Sterling. Marcus Sterling. The name sends a chill down SOPHIA's spine. She knows that name. Everyone in commercial real estate knows that name. Vanessa, examining her manicured nails. Oh, the sad divorcee. Derek told me about you. Couldn't give him kids. Couldn't handle a real man's ambition. The words are carefully chosen weapons. During their marriage, Derek had become obsessed with children, not because he loved kids, but because he saw them as trophies. When months passed without conception, he'd grown increasingly hostile. SOPHIA, steady despite the pain. How fortunate you found each other. Derek, more than fortunate. Vanessa's family owns Sterling Dynamics. You know, the tech company that just signed that massive contract with the city. We're talking generational wealth. Sophomore something you and your little real estate hobby could never touch. Real estate hobby. SOPHIA's family owns half the commercial district. Their portfolio is worth more than most small countries' GDP. But Derek never understood the scope of her world. He'd been too consumed with his own small ambitions as a mid-level marketing consultant. Vanessa, Daddy always says marry up or marry out. Derek's so lucky I chose him. The condescension in her is staggering. Even Derek looks momentarily uncomfortable. SOPHIA, taking a slow sip of wine. Sterling Dynamics. Your father's company. Vanessa, brightening. The one and only. We just moved into this gorgeous new headquarters downtown. Daddy calls it his crown jewel. Something cold and sharp crystallizes in Sophia's chest. She knows exactly which building Vanessa is talking about. The gleaming 40-story tower with floor-to-ceiling windows and a marble lobby that rivals this hotel's grandeur. Sophia, the building on 5th and Morrison. Vanessa, that's the one. Isn't it divine? Daddy got such a steal on the lease. Derek, sensing an opportunity to twist the knife deeper, leans forward. Derek, see, that's the difference between us now. Sophomore Vanessa's family thinks big. Your dad's little property management company. Sophia, interrupting softly. My father doesn't manage properties, Derek. He owns them. The statement hangs in the air like smoke. Derek's smirk falters slightly. Vanessa, what do you mean, owns them? Sophia sets down her wine glass with deliberate precision. Everything that happens next will change the trajectory of this conversation and their lives. Sophia, I mean Sterling Dynamics' beautiful crown jewel? My family owns that building. Your father is our tenant. The silence that follows is deafening. Other hotel guests glance over, sensing the shift in atmosphere. Derek, forcing a laugh. Bullshit. You're just trying to. Sophia, we bought it 18 months ago for $420 million. Sterling Dynamics signed a 15-year lease at $42 million annually. Pause. They're currently 4 months behind on rent. Vanessa's face goes white beneath her bronze foundation. Vanessa cracking. That's not possible. Daddy would have told me if. Sophia, your father owes us $168 million in back rent and penalties. Our legal team sent the final notice last week. Derek's chair scrapes against marble as he stands abruptly. Derek, you're lying. This is just another one of your manipulative games, trying to ruin my happiness because you can't stand seeing me succeed. The accusation is so absurd, so perfectly Derek, that Sophia almost laughs. Instead, she pulls out her phone with the calm efficiency of someone accustomed to wielding power. Sophia dialing. Dad? It's me. I'm at the Grandview with Sterling's daughter. Yes, Marcus Sterling from Sterling Dynamics. She puts the phone on speaker. Her father's, gravelly from years of boardroom battles, fills the air. Father's. Sophia, perfect timing. I just got off the phone with our attorneys. Sterling's missed another payment deadline. We're filing eviction proceedings Monday unless they settle the full amount by close of business Friday. Vanessa makes a sound like a wounded animal. Sophia, how much is the total with penalties? Father's, $192 million. And that's being generous. We could pursue the full breach of contract amount, which would put them into bankruptcy territory. Derek's face cycles through disbelief, rage, and dawning horror. Derek, this is insane. You can't just. Why didn't you tell me your family owned? Sophia, ending the call. Because you never asked, Derek. In 3 years of marriage, you never once asked about my work beyond dismissing it as Daddy's little side business. The truth of it settles over them like a funeral shroud. Derek had been so convinced of his own importance, so certain that Sophia was just a privileged princess playing at business, that he'd never bothered to understand what the Winters' name actually meant in their city. Vanessa, near tears. Derek, you said my family was rich. You said we'd be set for life. Derek, they are rich. Your dad owns a tech company. Sophia, a tech company that's hemorrhaging money. The city contract your wife mentioned, that's their only major revenue stream, and it barely covers operational costs. Your father-in-law has been using the rent money to pay employee salaries for 6 months. The color drains from Derek's face as the full scope of his miscalculation becomes clear. Vanessa, how do you know all this? Sophia, because when someone owes you nearly $200 million, you tend to research their financial situation very thoroughly. Derek slumps back into his chair, the fight going out of him like air from a punctured balloon. Derek, so what happens now? You destroy them out of spite. The question reveals so much about Derek's character, his assumption that everyone operates from the same petty vindictiveness that drives him. Sophia, this isn't about spite, Derek. This is business. Sterling Dynamics entered into a contract they can't honor. There are consequences. Vanessa, but Daddy said. Sophia, your father gambled on a contract that fell through. He bet your family's future on a single deal, and he lost. Derek's phone buzzes. He glances at it, and his face goes ashen. Derek. It's a news alert. Sterling Dynamics stock just got suspended from trading. There's some investigation into. He trails off reading. Vanessa grabbing the phone. Securities fraud? What does that mean? Sophia. It means your father's been cooking the books to hide how much trouble the company is in. The missed rent payments were just the beginning. Derek looks up at Sophia with something that might be respect if it weren't so tinged with desperation. Derek. You knew. You knew all of this when we sat down. Sophia. I suspected Sterling was in trouble when they started missing payments. I confirmed it when your wife mentioned the city contract. We have contacts there. They canceled Sterling's contract 3 months ago due to missed deliverables. The lobby around them has become their private theater of devastation. Other guests pretend not to watch while hanging on every word. Vanessa breaking. So we're poor. Sophia. Your family will likely lose everything. The company, the house, any assets they haven't already liquidated to stay afloat. Derek stands again, this time without the swagger. He looks like a man who's just realized he's been playing chess while everyone else was playing poker. Derek. The prenup. Vanessa, what does your prenup say about? Vanessa sharp. What prenup? You said we didn't need one because you were marrying up. The irony is so perfect it's almost biblical. Derek, who had insisted on a prenup during his marriage to Sophia to protect his meager marketing consultant salary, had waived protection when he thought he was gaining access to sterling wealth. Sophia. Community property state. Whatever debt Sterling Dynamics has, you're both liable for as a married couple. Derek's legs give out. He sits heavily, the weight of his situation finally sinking in. Derek. My apartment. The car. The credit cards I opened for the wedding. Sophia. All potentially subject to asset seizure, depending on how deep the fraud investigation goes. Vanessa turns on Derek with the fury of someone who's just realized she's been conned. Vanessa. You told me you were successful. You said you had connections, that you could provide for me. Derek. Your father seemed so confident. Vanessa. My father is a lying, scheming fraud, and you're a pathetic middle-aged loser who can't even do basic research on his wife's family. The viciousness of her attack would be shocking if it weren't so perfectly fitting. This is who Derek chose over Sophia, a woman who turns vicious the moment her security is threatened. Sophia, standing. I should go. This is clearly a private family matter now. Derek, desperate. Wait. Sophia, wait. We were married for 3 years. That has to count for something. She pauses, looking down at the man who once shared her bed, her dreams, her deepest insecurities. Sophia. You're right. It does count for something. Hope flickers in Derek's eyes. Sophia continued. It counts as a reminder of why I'm so careful about who I trust now. She picks up her purse, her movements deliberate and graceful. Derek. Please. I made mistakes, but... Sophia. You made choices, Derek. You chose to cheat. You chose to lie. You chose to belittle and diminish me every day of our marriage. And you chose to marry a woman based on what you thought her money could do for you. Vanessa. So you're just going to destroy us? Ruin our lives out of jealousy? Sophia turns to face Vanessa with the kind of calm that comes from absolute certainty. Sophia. I'm not destroying anything. Your father's poor business decisions and your husband's character flaws did that long before I walked into this lobby. She starts to walk away, then pauses. Sophia, without turning around. Derek, you asked me once why I never got pregnant during our marriage. I told you I didn't know. Derek and Vanessa both freeze. Sophia continued. I lied. I was on birth control the entire time. I stopped taking it after our divorce. The confession hangs in the air like a nuclear blast. Derek. What are you saying? Sophia, finally turning. I'm saying I'm 4 months pregnant with my new husband's child. And I'm saying that sometimes the body knows what the mind takes years to figure out. Derek's face contorts with rage and confusion. Derek. Who did you marry? Sophia. Someone who sees me as a partner, not a prize. Someone who admires my ambition instead of feeling threatened by it. Someone who earns his own way instead of marrying for money. She places a protective hand over her still small bump. Sophia continued. He's a senior associate at Dad's firm. Harvard Law, brilliant mind, comes from nothing but works harder than anyone I've ever met. We're getting married next month in a small ceremony, nothing like the spectacle you two probably had. Vanessa shrieking. You planned this. You knew we'd be here. Sophia. I'm here on vacation, Vanessa. The universe just has a sense of humor. Derek stands one last time, is broken. Derek. Sophia. I'm sorry. For everything. For the way I treated you. For not seeing who you really were for. Sophia. I know you are, Derek. And maybe if you'd figured that out 3 years ago, things would be different. She walks toward the elevator, her heels clicking against marble with the rhythm of absolute finality. Sophia over her shoulder. The eviction notice will be served Monday morning. If Sterling wants to discuss a payment plan, they can call our legal department. The elevator doors close on Derek and Vanessa's stunned faces. Cut to 6 months later. Sophia sits in her corner office on the 45th floor of the Winters building, city lights twinkling below. Her assistant, James, enters with a tablet. James. The Sterling Dynamics settlement is final. They're filing for bankruptcy next week. Sophia. And the building? James. Goldman Sachs signed a 20-year lease. Move-in is scheduled for next month. Sophia nods, her hand resting on her now prominent belly. Her wedding ring catches the light, a simple platinum band her husband designed himself. James, hesitating. There's something else. Derek Cross has been calling the main line. He says it's urgent. Sophia. About what? James. Apparently he and his wife are getting divorced. He's asking if there are any entry-level positions available. Sophia considers this for a long moment. Through the floor-to-ceiling windows, she can see the building that used to house Sterling Dynamics. It's dark now, empty, waiting for new tenants who understand the value of keeping their commitments. Sophia. Tell him we're not hiring. James. And if he keeps calling? Sophia. Then remind him that I learned a long time ago to be very careful about who I trust. She turns back to the window, watching the city pulse with life below. In a few months, she'll be a mother. In a few years, she'll officially take over the company. Her future stretches ahead like an open road, uncertain in its details but solid in its foundation. Her phone buzzes with a text from her husband. Dinner ready when you get home. Love you both. Sophia smiles, picks up her purse, and heads for the door. Some stories end with revenge. Others end with the simple, profound satisfaction of a life well lived. She turns off the lights and leaves Derek Cross exactly where he belongs, in the darkness behind her.